Hello, everyone, and welcome to Careers Week. We hope you are all well. This morning, we have a fabulous interview with Sarah, who is a fitness instructor and personal trainer. I'm just going to add Sarah to our chat now. Hello, Sarah. Good morning.
Hi, Joe.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm very well, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us for Careers Week. We are going to dive right into it. So, first question we have for you is, can you explain exactly what it is you do for a job or career?
Okay. So my official title would be, I guess at the moment, fitness instructor, group fitness instructor. So I will be kind of working in the care home system, doing seat-based exercise group classes with adults, older adults, vulnerable adults in the community, perhaps people with learning disabilities who live in a residential setting, which the main focus is going to be around just fun, basically, just using exercise, use fun ways of kind of keeping fit and healthy, functional exercises to promote, activities of daily living within the care sector, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's about
Wow,
it.
that's really interesting. Have you always wanted to do this as a job?
No. What's strange as well is that when I was in school, I hated PE. I hated any kind of forced, structured physical activity. I really didn't
Yeah.
enjoy it. I was only really having children and having some kind of pregnancy related health issues that got me into fitness.
Nice.
Um, and then I ended up going back to work after a period of time being at home with the kids and just found that I was feeling demotivated and dissatisfied with what I was doing for a living. And I
Mm.
think with COVID, everyone kind of had a bit of a rethink about what they wanted to do. And so I just decided to turn what I enjoyed into a career. And so I signed up to an online course.
Wow.
And yeah, and that's here we are.
Fantastic. I think it's a really important lesson for a lot of our young learners as well to know that even if you start on one path,
Exactly.
further down the road, if you want to change, by all means change. And the wonderful world of
Exactly.
technology now, you can do it from home and online courses are out there. So that's really, really fantastic to hear. So obviously you didn't start wanting to do this job and
No.
you had previous jobs to this. So can you talk
Yes.
us through sort of your journey of careers and jobs that you've had to get to this point now?
Okay. How long have you got, Joe? Because
We've got all the
because
time in the world.
let's just say when it comes to kind of previous employment, fickle would be the word I would describe myself.
Okay.
But basically, so I left school, not many qualifications, not really having much direction. I grew up in Cornwall, so I signed up to what back then was called job link training. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a scheme that involved putting you in work but giving you qualifications alongside it. So I went to
Okay.
work for my local, bizarrely, my local education authority.
Okay.
Yeah, working for the so I was working in the office for the Secretary for Education for Cornwall with his PA. And alongside that, I went to college and did all of my IT qualifications and my typing qualifications. And the idea was for then they find long-term work within the local authority.
Okay.
There wasn't a huge amount going then. So one of the girls I worked with, her husband was a chief petty officer in the Navy,
Wow.
and recommended me for a job working with the Ministry of Defence.
Okay.
So I went to work for the Ministry of Defence for a while, and which was brilliant, amazing fun, but a very, very long commute. In Cornwall, it doesn't
Right.
seem like a lot, but a 45-minute to an hour commute in Cornwall a lot of miles.
Yeah.
So actually, it's not a lot of miles, but it takes forever to get there. So I ended up going for a job closer to home. So I worked as a legal secretary. Then the relationship I was in at the time, he was Canadian born, so I ended up emigrating to Canada.
Right. Okay.
In 2001, I moved to Canada, and really struggled to find office work over there. They're really keen on people being bilingual because of the French Canadian.
Okay.
So I really struggled. My mother-in-law at the time was working for a non-profit supporting adults with learning disabilities in a group home setting. So she recommended me for a job there. I started working with them, went to college, signed up for a college diploma in Canada, in Ontario, went to college and ended up working with learning disabilities. So
Okay.
I did that for 3 years, ended up coming back to the UK, where I continued to work in that field, but more kind of for a charity called Spectrum down in Cornwall, who specialise in supporting adults with autism and Asperger's. So I did
Right.
that for quite a few years before, and then we moved around. I did some more office work up until having kids, really. So I worked with for Spectrum right up until falling pregnant with Freya. Um, and then after having children, I did some work working with an advocacy charity.
Okay.
Um, and did some, I mean, I've done all sorts. Then we decided to leave Cornwall, which is when we went to Gillingham. So that was when we moved to Kent. Um, and obviously that's when we met with the children and everything. And I wasn't really working very much at that time. I did a bit of voluntary work. Just did part-time jobs around the kids,
Mm-hmm.
right up until deciding that I wanted to study towards becoming a fitness instructor, really. So it's all a bit random. But the work that I did with in Canada and with my diploma that I got over there with the personal support worker,
Mm.
combined with the fitness instructor qualification, and now what I'm going to be doing going into the care home sector, it's kind of all
Yeah.
tied in.
I was
And
going to
it's
say
kind of,
that's a really interesting
yeah,
aspect of the journey. That
yeah,
although from where you consider where you're at now to what you started with, it
yeah,
doesn't seem all that interconnected, but
no,
actually, so much
yeah,
of what you've done previously is what we would
yeah,
say is transferable.
yeah,
So although you
definitely,
start on this pathway, there is so
yeah,
much you can take from one job into the next, into
yeah,
the next, and
yeah,
it's all the personal skills and things like that, as well as all the qualifications that
yeah,
you've got so far
absolutely,
as well.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I mean, up until before we moved, because we've moved again to from Sussex to Essex. But I was working in the gym as a fitness instructor as well, 20 hours a week. So, but yeah, I mean, like you say, it's a lot of different things. But I don't think I'd be where I am now, doing what I'm doing now, if it wasn't for all of those different experiences. You
Definitely.
know, so yeah, so it's all been a massive learning experience, definitely. And I would definitely say to anyone, don't be afraid to try different things. You know, you're working for a lot of years.
Yeah,
You know, there's nothing wrong with
life
dipping
is
in
too
and out of,
short.
yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with dipping in and out of different things. Try and I hadn't, if someone said to me, like when I'd left school I was going to be a personal trainer and a fitness instructor, there is no way that I would
Nope,
that would
nope,
even
nope.
have been on my radar at all.
Yeah,
So it's just very surreal. But
yeah. But that's
yeah,
fantastic. So, what would you say is the best part of your job that you're looking forward to?
the people,
Yeah,
definitely the people, helping people, just kind of when you just feel like just want to make a difference really to just people's daily lives. I mean,
yeah,
even when I was working in the gym, even if you were having a rough day, you could just have a chat with some of the members. Just it's just the people and the variety, because every day is different. Every day is
yeah,
different, and I've realized over the years that I definitely need variety in my work.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's really cool actually to be able to learn that about yourself.
yeah,
And it works in the opposite way as well. Some people really need that structure of knowing from one
yeah,
day to the next,
yeah,
a day is predictable. And then other mentalities really need that variety. And like I say, and people are absolutely the best place to get variety from.
exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. What do you think is possibly going to be your least favourite part?
Potentially the driving from different to different locations.
Oh, okay,
To
yeah,
be fair, the traffic doesn't seem too bad around here, and I will be travelling. You know, I'm only going to be within the Chelmsford area, so it's
yeah,
not too bad. But yeah, the travelling, kind of living out of my car a little bit, that'll be. I haven't done that for a very long time, not since I did community care. So
yeah.
that'll be
That's very
interesting.
good.
But
So
apart from that,
the way it will work is you're going to different locations.
yes, different locations. Yeah, so
Okay.
I mean, generally, the idea is I'll only be working between Monday and Friday, 10 till 4.
Okay.
Different care homes. So it could be 2 care homes in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Each
Yeah.
session is an hour long. So yeah, so you just go from one to the other. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
So obviously, it's really important that you've got your driving license.
Yes, yeah,
For
yeah.
that for everyone.
Full
But
driving license. I've got and obviously I'm making sure that I've got business use on my insurance,
yeah.
that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I mean, a big boot because I've got quite a bit of all the equipment. I've got resistance bands and foam footballs
Oh,
and all
okay.
kinds of stuff. So yeah, so
There's a
lots
lot
of
to
stuff,
carry around with
a
you.
lot to carry around. Yeah, bean bags, hula hoops, all sorts. It's
Wow.
yeah, it's just fun. Lots of
Yeah.
fun stuff.
That's really cool. So, what has been for you the biggest challenge in getting into the industry that you're going to be in now?
Um, I think really the biggest challenge is that you have to be prepared to kind of take a risk because I will be working on a self-employed basis.
Okay.
So, even though, they've said, they've basically said, it takes a while to get established. So you have to be prepared that there's going to be a short-term instability for long-term gain. So,
Okay.
you have to, no, so you have to be prepared for that. And a lot of people going into the personal training industry, if you wanted to just, be a personal trainer, then it is advised that you kind of look for a part-time job in a gym first and then build a
Okay.
client base alongside it,
Yeah.
which is why I went into the fitness instructor position in the gym, which was fantastic because I mean it's an entry-level job, it's not glamorous, it's minimum wage,
Yeah.
but there was no way that I would have had the confidence to apply for the job that I'm now going into if I hadn't had that experience within the gym
Okay.
setting.
Yes, it's almost
Because
like it's a stepping stone.
stepping stones, definitely. Because I never would have thought that I would have loved group. I thought when I went into it, I was going to do one-to-one personal training. That was going to be it. Then
Okay.
they said, "Oh, would you be willing to do a circuit class?" So I signed up to lead a circuit class on the gym floor twice a week, and I
Okay.
absolutely loved it. And I thought, the
Wow.
group instructing is what I wanted to do. So yeah, so I think when you go into the industry, you might go in thinking dead set that you want to be an online trainer, or you want to do one-to-one, or you want to be in a gym, or you want to do it can take time for you to, once you're in the industry, to figure out which niche you want to go down,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
because there are so many elements to and you kind of really have to hone in on what it is that you want to do. So
Okay.
that's kind of what I've done in the last 6 months, really,
But it
figuring
sounds like
out
it's really a really great industry to be able to figure that out kind of on the job.
on the job.
So
Yes,
you
definitely.
can try out lots of different
Yeah,
areas, and
yeah,
like for yourself, you had an idea of
yeah,
what your career was kind of going to follow, and with
yeah,
that your life experience, you've then gone, actually
yeah,
this pathway is actually better suited
yeah,
to me.
definitely.
That's
Because all of those things that that I've done in the past, I can bring it all together.
yeah,
I can use all of that experience. I can bring it all together. And plus from a personal point of view for me, because of family history and and illnesses and things like that, the when in my personal for my health and fitness, I'm not just doing it for me now, I'm doing it for the me in 20-30 years time.
yeah,
So to be so even little things like kind of lower body exercises, they're going to help you as you get older, getting in and out of the bathtub,
yeah,
that kind of thing. So that's what I'm looking forward to about working with the elderly adults, is kind of things that are going to help prolong their independence and their quality of life. And so
Yeah.
that's really appealing to me.
That's really fantastic. I think also
Yeah.
there's probably many of our young learners probably think to go into the industry, to be a fitness instructor and a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people have a very narrow view of what
Yeah.
that is. Because a lot of
Yeah.
what we see is people on the gym floor shouting at you, one more
Yeah.
rep, one more rep,
Yeah.
2 more, and all
Yeah.
that kind of. Actually, there's so much within the
Yeah.
industry that possibly a lot of us didn't really know about.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't even considered this as a possible. I mean, I had thought about, kind of looking into it in terms of opening up maybe, a class in a local community hall or something, but I didn't know that this company existed that actually support people to go into homes all around the country. So, it was an eye opener for me as well.
That's really great. So for our young learners,
Yes.
what qualifications do you have to have in
Yeah.
order to get into the industry? And what qualifications or certificates or anything like that would you recommend for young people going into the industry?
Okay. So to be a fitness instructor or a personal trainer in the UK, you have to be certified to the minimum of level 2 fitness instructing,
Okay.
or level 3 personal trainer.
Okay.
I did all of these, so there are a lot of companies out there. You have to be careful, you basically need to make sure that they're fully accredited qualifications.
Yeah.
I did mine with a company called Study Active. It was all online.
Okay.
So it was all online, but I did have to travel to Welwyn Garden City, to a gym in Welwyn Garden City to have my practical assessment. So,
Right. Okay.
so for both of them, it consists of an online portfolio of work that you do, and then you have an exam. For level 2 fitness instruction, it's an online exam and a practical assessment in a gym. You do have the option to record that yourself in a gym if you want to and send it in, but it's very, very difficult to do that. For me, I just thought I'm just going to go there, get it done. Some of the companies have different locations around the country, but yeah. So to work in a gym as a fitness instructor, the bare minimum is the level 2 fitness instructor qualification, and then if you want to do personal training, it's level 3. The cost, I mean, that was about £1,300, I think, for both qualifications. I just paid and did them both one after the other.
Yeah.
That was that. And the company I used were fantastic. There's lots of tutor support. And it's all just done. When I did my online exam, it was just at home. I logged on just like this, completed my exam, submitted it, got my results within 24 hours. So it's a very, very easy process to do.
Yeah.
And I don't believe there's any kind of entrance requirements in terms of qualifications.
Okay.
So if someone wanted to do it, they could just sign up.
Yeah. So there's no prerequisite to have a certain number of
I
GCSEs.
don't know. No, I wasn't asked to provide evidence of anything. As an adult learner as well, it's different, isn't it? There's different criteria, and there was no prerequisites from what I could see at all.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's really cool. So are there any qualifications that you would say are beneficial to those that aren't specific to the industry? So like, for example, having your driving license.
Yes.
That's going to open up many more opportunities for young learners that are in there. Is there anything else that you would recommend? Like, is there an insurance or a professional scheme?
As a self-employed trainer, I do have to have insurance. I've got to have public liability insurance.
Okay.
So I do have that set up. If I was working independently, I would probably recommend having a first aid certificate.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be working on my own with the older residents, I don't need to worry about that. But if I was working one-to-one with people, certainly, kind of where people are getting their heart rate up, then I would definitely recommend having a first aid certificate as well in addition. But I do think it would be difficult to do it without a driver's license, unless you were just situated in one location, one gym. Then you could manage it. But I think on the whole, it would be quite tricky.
So having those kind of things like your first aid certificate,
Yeah,
driving license,
yeah,
public liability or
yeah,
personal indemnity insurance, those are all kind of strings to what we would call strings to your bow that you
yes,
can add that just open up further opportunities for you. You can travel
yes,
for a field, you can do your own things in different locations and stuff
yeah,
like that. So that's really good point for all of our young learners out there, that it's not
yeah.
just going to be the one certificate for the fitness training, fitness
No,
instructor or personal training. There are other things that you can do that will help you get more opportunities to get into the
yes,
industry. So that's really
definitely.
cool.
Yeah.
If you weren't doing this, what
Mm.
do you think you might be doing otherwise, or any other job that sounds appealing to you?
If I wasn't, I mean, if I wasn't doing this, then I would want to be. I mean, it was always my hope to be able to do something crafty, making and
Okay.
selling type
Yeah.
thing. So I do still love to sew, um, all that kind of thing. So I would definitely be looking at making and selling if it
Yeah.
was,
Okay,
if I
cool.
wasn't doing this. I mean, I do. I mean, my husband has a podcast. And we've been looking into making some battle jackets, patch jackets.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. So to sell on eBay. So I've already started working on some patch jackets.
So
So
you're gonna have what we'd call a side hustle as well.
yeah, yeah.
That's really
Because I just
cool.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I mean it's yeah. So I need. That's what I wanted. That's what I love about being self-employed, though, is that it gives you the
Yeah.
opportunity to do different things.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
And you can pick and
yeah,
choose, in a way, your own working schedule when you're self-employed, can't you?
yeah,
Because you can say,
exactly.
I don't want to work weekends, so I'm simply not available
Not
at the
yeah,
weekends. Whereas when
exactly.
you're employed by another organisation, you are
Yeah,
kind of not obligated, but there will be times that they will expect you to work that
yeah,
aren't your personal ideal and stuff like that. So that's
exactly.
cool. I am just going to bring up a couple of shots. We've got a couple of shots of Sarah in action, and I'm just going to bring those up. Look at these. This is
Oh
so
no.
cool. I love it. It really shows the kind of variety of what you're going to be able to do in the fitness industry, because although you're going to
Yeah,
be with the residents that you are, you also then have this sideline of this side of the business as well.
yes.
So yes, there is, like you say, there's so much variety within
Yeah,
this industry. So that
there
is
is.
really
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, long term, I hope to kind of do some more stuff online. I have kind of put it on hold, to be honest, temporarily, because I want to focus on building up this side of the face-to-face business,
Yeah,
and then I might revisit the online stuff down the line.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just fun. A bit embarrassing seeing those pictures. But yeah.
No, not at all. We love that. We love seeing what other people do. It's
Uh,
amazing. So, have you got any advice for any of our young learners out there, for anyone who's thinking about going into the same industry or a like-minded industry, whether it's specific to your industry or
yeah.
just life advice in general?
Okay. Um, don't be afraid to think outside the box a little bit.
Okay.
There's lots of different routes into different industries. I know there are some gyms out there that even offer apprenticeship schemes where you can work for them and then gain your qualification alongside.
Okay.
Yeah, and just be prepared that it's tough. The rewards are there, but it can take a long time to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if you need, sometimes you may find yourself kind of working part-time in another job and kind of doing this alongside it. It's, you might not necessarily want to throw yourself all in straight away.
Yeah. Okay.
Because but just take your time. And if you've got something, another thing too is to figure out what interests you.
Yeah.
Some people, I mean, even though when I was working in a gym, I still prefer to train at home personally. So,
Okay. Yeah.
so you might, you have all these images of people kind of personal training in a gym. It doesn't have to be like that. If you want to set up a boot camp in your local park, you can do that. if there are just think outside the box a little bit and focus on what you enjoy personally.
Yeah.
And try and figure out a way of monetizing it, basically.
Yeah.
So, so if you don't like going to the gym, or if you don't like, for example, like HIIT, I hate HIIT training. So I would never want
to. What is the
high intensity? Yeah, burpees. You will never see me doing a burpee ever. No. So I focus on teaching the things that I am passionate about and that I love. And if I'm not gonna teach something to somebody if I don't personally enjoy it myself. So it's just figuring out what you love and figuring out a way of kind of turning it into a career, really.
That's
a dream, isn't it, really, to try and figure out what we love doing on a daily basis and turn
I
that.
think it will show in what you do, especially in a job like this where you are face to face with people.
Yeah.
People will know if you're not motivated.
Exactly.
So this is definitely the industry to really make it your own.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you say, if you're a person who hates doing a certain kind of training,
there
is more than likely somebody else out there who
that
also
feels the same way,
kind of training, and wants to train with someone who knows that and appreciates that as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would definitely say to anybody in the industry, try and figure out what your niche is going to be.
Yeah.
If you kind of aiming towards trying to get every single type of person, you may struggle. But if you know that your perfect avatar, your perfect client, try and figure out what your perfect client would be.
Yeah.
And then aim towards trying to get that person on board. Really try and niche down. That's what I would say, definitely.
Really, really fantastic advice. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Sarah. This has been a really great conversation. I've learned so much as well. Here's me just thinking that it's just in the gym, personal training. So
there's a lot more to it.
Really exciting. Wish you the best of luck with your new role as well. Enjoy that, and thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks, Jo.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
So everyone, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Sarah. It was really fantastic. I've learned so much, and I hope you have as well. So we're going to finish off by saying goodbye, and we hope you have a lovely week ahead.